see Doc Raymond. I gotta see him. Look, I gotta see Doc Raymond. There must be some way he can help me remember.
You've got just 20 hours left, Danzig. It's about time you started remembering.
I will. I've got to, I know.
You should have thought of that before you were convicted.
Wait. Look, call Doc Raymond now. Call him now. Let me out of here with my bare hands. I will call him now. In God's name, let me see him.
My name is Frank Ballinger, Detective Lieutenant M Squad, a special detail of the Chicago Police. I've been in charge of the murder investigation which ultimately led to the arrest and conviction of Paul Danzig. Although Danzig now sat in the death house, his wife Loretta still believed him innocent.
You never really believed he was guilty. Not completely.
Nobody's interested in what we believe. The judge and the jury made that decision.
You always figured maybe Paul really had amnesia.
We still have 19 hours. What do you want us to do?
Well, you could cry.
Well, that's human, and we're not human.
All right, Mr. Ballinger. But I think you'll count the hours yourself. You're one of Paul's killers.
Well, that's the way you figure it. That's my job. To find the guilty and try to see that they're punished.
It's a proud job. I mean that. Where's the mercy to save an innocent man?
Well, I'll go out and see the prison psychiatrist. Maybe with all this pressure that your husband's under, he might start to remember. But he's got to start. Otherwise, we have to wait out the clock like you.
Well, I'm not waiting out the clock, Mr. Ballinger. I'll do something. Hello, Jerry.
Oh, hi, Loretta. Come on in, honey.
Jerry, I want to borrow something.
Sure, come on in. Sit down. I'll get you a cup of coffee.
No. I don't want any.
Okay. Well, what is it, honey? What do you want?
Do you still have that gun?
Yeah, I still got it. Why?
I want you to lend it to me.
Well, what for?
Well, the police are helping Paul. They think maybe he'll start remembering what happened that night.
Now, why should he? He hasn't remembered anything yet. Look, honey, he didn't even remember anything when the doctors questioned him and they used that hypnotic drug.
I know. But with the pressure, when he realizes he's going...
I think maybe that'll do it, huh? Well, I'm sorry, Loretta. I can't let you have the gun.
What? You're Paul's brother. Look, I need that gun.
Honey, you're not yourself. I'm sorry. A gun's a dangerous thing. I'm not going to give it to you.
I changed my mind. I will have some coffee.
Atta girl. I'll get it for you.
There's only one way I can help Paul, and that's to stop the clock. Give him time to remember.
Wait a minute.
Don't try to stop me, Jerry. Just don't try to stop me.
Loretta, listen to me.
Well, Doc.
Lieutenant?
How's he holding up?
Well, his reactions are quite normal for a man who's going to die in 18 hours. But one thing is different. He's trying to break through that wall of amnesia.
Tell me, Doctor, how do you figure it? Real or fake?
As a doctor, no opinion. As a human being, real.
That makes two of us. Have you ever met his wife?
Pretty determined woman.
Hard for a man not to believe her.
What's on your mind?
Hope? You passing out on me?
No. But pressure might crack Paul. It might break through the logjam of his memory.
Tell me one thing, Doc. How does a guy get like this?
Fear, disgust, horror, lots of reasons. You see something you don't like and your subconscious pulls the plug and you don't remember.
What did Paul Danzig say?
Murder.
Couldn't he have seen himself doing that murder?
Or someone else. Someone who maybe tried to blame him and had brought on amnesia as a blessing.
On my way back from the prison, I received a call from Captain Gray. Jerry Danzig, Paul's brother, was waiting for me at M Squad.
Danzig, I'm Lieutenant Ballinger.
How are you, Lieutenant?
You can say what you have to say. There's no secrets here.
Well, it's about Loretta. She came to my apartment. She took a gun and she doesn't have a permit for it.
Why would she want a gun?
She said something about she needed it to help Paul. Something about trying to stop the clock.
And you just let her have the gun?
No, I just didn't let her have it. She threw a chair down in front of me and I tripped and then she ran and got the gun.
Well, how long ago did all this happen?
About half an hour ago now.
You didn't try to stop her?
No. It was loaded.
Well, thank you very much. I will be in touch.
She's got a gun, Frank. You better find her.
Yeah. She said something about stopping the clock. But whose?
We put out an APB on Loretta Danzig. We knew that she was desperate and had a gun, but we didn't know what she intended to do with it. I only knew I had to move faster if I was going to help Paul Danzig in time. When I arrived at the prison, Dr. Raymond was already working on him. I had a little shock treatment for him myself.
That's it, Paul. If you can open the door a little bit, I can help.
Take a look at this.
What are you trying to do to me?
Keep you alive.
It's up to me, huh?
That's what I've been telling you, Paul.
You figure way down deep inside I want to die, huh?
That's about it, Paul. Your subconscious can kill you if you let it.
Well, I remember a little bit, Doc. I remember the bar.
Don't let go of it, Paul. What else can you see?
I wasn't alone. Somebody was in the bar with me.
That's the way it had to be, Paul. If you didn't do the killing, who was with you?
No face. No voice. Just someone. There were other people in the bar. 5, 6 people. Just sitting around. The jukebox. It's a jukebox.
That news story about the governor being in Chicago rang a bell. Loretta was determined to get a stay of execution for her husband, and the governor was the only man that could do that. I had a good idea now why she wanted that gun.
I got a million more questions.
The governor's late for the luncheon now. I'm sure you have enough.
What about Danzig? The governor's the only one who can save him now.
I believe it's clear that the execution will not be stopped unless...
Are you going to let an innocent man die?
I'm sorry, Miss...
Mrs. Paul Danzig. Did you come to town to witness my husband's death?
Quick, get a shot of him. Put him out open.
Just a minute. Just a minute.
Wing it, stupid.
Just a minute. Mrs. Danzig, you've made a mistake. My name is Claiborne. I'm only the governor's aide.
Well, then you've got to get me in to see the governor. I've got to see him.
I'm afraid that's impossible.
He has to save Paul. I've got to see him, please.
Mrs. Danzig, it won't do any good.
You want my husband's blood on your hands? An innocent man? Do you want to take that to bed with you every night? I'm going in there.
Mrs. Danzig.
Let go of me!
Mrs. Danzig! The governor left the building 10 minutes ago.
Mr. Claiborne, Mrs. Danzig's under a great strain. You have to
There'll be no
understand.
complaint.
All right, thank you very much.
How about a favor?
No, let me stay right now.
Come on.
No, there's no problem.
Well, what are you going to do, Mr.
When I finally got Loretta calmed down, I drove her out to the prison. I had an idea about how she could help her husband. Dr. Raymond agreed with me. It would be tough, but it was our only chance of breaking through Paul's amnesia.
thing. Don't let yourself get in worse shape than he's in already, huh?
I've come here because we need each other. We're not two people anymore, darling. When you hurt, I hurt. And my heart's breaking inside me, Paul. I'm dying too. I'm dying with every second that passes.
Don't do this to me, please.
Paul, I've talked to the doctor and to Lieutenant Ballinger. And it's you that's killing us, Paul. Not the judge, not the jury, and not the state, but you. The inside you, the you that doesn't want to see that face. You're killing both of us.
You gotta stop. You all gotta stop. You gotta leave me alone. You gotta get out of here. Let me alone.
No. Paul, you want to live. I want to live. There's only one thing we need. Only one thing. Now, you saw someone kill that bartender. That someone has a face and a name. You've got to tell us who it was, Paul. You've got to describe that face.
You're very, very pretty. What's a pretty girl like you doing here? You don't belong here. I belong here, not you.
Paul, I'm your wife.
Oh, no. No, you're not my wife. My wife wouldn't come here. She doesn't know anything about this. She doesn't know where I am.
Paul, this is Loretta, your wife. She's here to help.
No, she's not my wife. She's here to kill me. Ah! Please let me alone. Let me alone. Please let me alone. Oh, please let me alone. Let me alone. Let me alone.
Ray's asleep.
Oh, please.
All right.
I guess that does it, huh?
Maybe there's one more thing we can try.
Went down to St. James Infirmary.
Speak softly, gently.
To see my baby there.
Paul, this is Loretta. I love you.
Ask him about the murder.
I want you to do something for me, Paul. I want you to remember. I know you know, so don't try to keep it hidden away anymore. Someone was with you in that bar. You didn't kill him. The other person did.
Went down to St. James Infirmary to see my baby there.
What about St. James?
He kept playing it. The jukebox hit.
The man you were with played a record on the jukebox.
Made everybody mad. They left. He...
Who's he, Paul? Tell me who killed the bartender. I can't.
No face. He hasn't got a face. No face. He hasn't got a face.
I had two reasons for taking Loretta Danzig with me to the scene of the murder. First, she might spot somebody she knew, the face of the guy with Paul that night. Second, I wanted her to see that we worked just as hard to free a man as to convict him.
Would you like a drink?
Give me another.
This time, put some beer under that foam.
Hi. You hang around here much?
Home away from home, Hanson.
I was just wondering if you can tell me if you ever saw this man in here before.
Looks like an actor. Is he dead?
Not yet.
Is that the only song on that box?
Why?
That record gives me the creeps.
Well, when did that record start bugging you?
Feels like since I was born.
Well, I could play it over and over and over again for you.
No thanks. I had that kind of treatment in here a while back.
The night the bartender was killed?
You're a cop. Let me see that picture again. This guy, he was here. Him and another. I asked him to lay off the record. Got under my fingernails, you know. And the other guy, not him, he got hard-nosed, so I...
So you what?
So I left. I didn't want no trouble. Say, ain't this the guy they...
Yeah, he dies in 9 hours.
I tried to get the woman to describe the other man with Paul, but her memory was vague. She was certain only that she'd recognize him if she saw him again. Still, this was the first real proof we had that Paul wasn't alone the night the bartender was killed. We had a witness now who could identify the real murderer, if we could find him.
You stay here, I'm just going to make a phone call.
Several times during the day, I had a feeling that I was being followed. That was all right for me, but not for Loretta Danzig. If there was going to be any trouble, I wanted her someplace safe. Before heading back to M Squad, I only stopped long enough to phone Dr. Raymond.
Yes, Lieutenant. We have some more information for you. The man has a small knot in one earlobe. No description. Paul just sees a man without a face. But he knows that man killed the bartender.
Okay, thanks.
Mrs. Danzig needs some rest. I'd like to keep her here.
Well, she can lie down in my office. Sure.
Thank you.
Right in there, mister. How's it going?
Oh, we got a little more to go on. Darn little. Got a lot of ground to cover between now and 6 in the morning. Keep an eye on it for me, huh?
Sure.
I spent the next couple of hours trying to get a lead on the man that we now knew had been with Paul Danzig. But finding a man with no face isn't easy. I checked everybody within an area of 3 blocks of that tavern, but no one could give me the identification I needed. As a last resort, I headed back to the scene of the crime.
Thanks, Doc. Here. I want to see Mrs. Danzig now, if I can.
Well, I think she just went to sleep.
Well, she'll be happy to wake up to hear what I have to say. Mrs.
Danzig, your husband said something about a man who had a notch in his ear. Well, that man is real. I just ran into him.
Well, that's Jerry.
Are you sure?
It must be Jerry, but he...
That could explain a lot of things. Your husband's amnesia. Yeah.
But how could he do that to his own brother?
Then Cain rose up and slew Abel with a rock. I put in a rush call to the governor's office and got a temporary stay of execution.
Who is it?
Open up, Danzig. It's the police. Jerry Danzig has taken his brother's place in death row. Loretta and Paul are busy making plans for their new future. I can remember when they didn't have any.